to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Boston sports media personality John Mallory.
Jam.
What's up, buddy?
How are you, bro?
What's going on?
You know, I gotta tell you, my brother Al made a comment about you. He said you look like the Hulk.
Let me tell you, that made my day. I mean, I wish it wasn't an 80-year-old man saying it, but I'll take what I can get.
You look great. I mean, you do look great. It was fun. It was fun.
I feel almost as good as I look.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zappola, my other co-host, good friend Johnny Mallory, JM, as we call him, Boston sports personality. There's nothing you haven't done in the sports media. As a matter of fact, you even got thrown out of the city of Boston.
I didn't get thrown out of the city. You overstate that.
Listen to me.
When you write eloquently, you don't really write eloquently. You speak eloquently. When you write the truth, when you speak the truth.
Well,
sometimes you make some friends, you make some enemies.
Yeah, let's bring in our guests so everybody can see. Jackie Walker, Stephanie Moran from Lucy's Love Bus. We're going to talk with them. Danny Wulken from Memory Lane, our guest host and Paisan.
Yep.
Daniel, how are you? How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Danny.
So, Dan, I'm going to ask your opinion. Mallory was a sport. I mean, he wrote a column in the Boston media for a few of the newspapers. What was it called, John?
It's called Media Blitz.
Media Blitz. So
I'm assuming that's the one you're talking about.
I am.
But, yeah.
Now, Dan, what he would do is he would critique sports talk radio shows. Reviews, right?
Review.
Well, he crucified so many that they threw him out of the city.
They can't handle the truth.
They can't handle it, Danny. You know that.
Handle the truth.
It's called integrity. All right.
It's
called integrity. Here's the thing. I made some. I wouldn't say enemies. That's a strong word doing it. I also made a lot of friends doing it. Unfortunately, the enemies did better in the media business. So that hurt me long run.
So I
sucked up to the wrong people.
Like,
for example, I sucked up to Tom Zappola.
That's the first error.
Big mistake.
Big mistake.
I should have trashed your shows years ago.
All right, listen, we have a great jam-packed show today. Dan's in the house. The girls are going to join us. Later on, Paul Borges is going to join us from PB Collectibles to talk about the Quincy find.
Yes.
Another find. He hit a home run. I want to get Danny's opinion. And by the way, the Great American AI Baseball Tournament is now officially ended, John.
I know. I missed.
You missed the finals, but
yeah.
Just so our viewers and listeners, thank you so much for the response.
It was
phenomenal. Great. And in the final World Championship game, the two greatest teams of all time, the 1927 Yankees beat the 1939 Yankees, and I think the score was 8-6, if I recall. I don't remember what the exact score.
And where were the Boston Red Sox?
I'll tell you, Dan, believe it or not, we had a Sweet 16. It was all AI generated.
Wow.
And the 2004 Red Sox made it to the Final Four. And then they got annihilated by the 39 Yankees, but that's okay. Wow. And later on in the summer, we have my son-in-law. His name is Danny the Baseball Savant. We are changing his name to Danny the Basketball Savant. We are going to be doing a Sweet 16 NBA all-time greatest teams and do the same kind of a tournament.
Oh, that'd be good.
With
that'd
NBA
be great.
Team. Anyways, all right, let's bring the ladies first. Stephanie Moran and Jackie Walker from Lucy's Love Bus. For those of actually, I'm going to let Jackie, you tell our viewers and our listeners what Lucy's Love Bus is all about, and then we'll get to the event.
Yeah, sure. So Lucy's Love Bus is a childhood cancer charity. We are a nonprofit based in Amesbury, Mass. And what we do is we provide free integrative therapies and holistic support to children with cancer, their siblings, and their parents all across New England. So what we really try to do is provide them with opportunities to have some fun, bring some normalcy back into their lives, help the kids be kids again during a really, really challenging time. So anyone diagnosed with cancer before the age of 21 is eligible for our services, and we pay for traditional integrative therapies like massage, acupuncture, yoga, but we also pay for a lot of things that are just fun. If it helps and doesn't hurt is sort of our motto. So we also pay for a lot of gymnastics. Right now, everyone's doing swimming lessons, or we're paying for camp sessions. And we also do pay for sports fees as well. So we pay for a couple of siblings in particular to, play baseball or soccer, a lot of basketball, and we just try to provide those moments where they have a chance to be a normal kid. And we have some group programs where all of those families come together and kind of create community with people who get what they're going through. And so we are there to help from diagnosis to whatever comes after, so they don't have to be in active treatment to be eligible for our services. And
Yeah, JM and Dan, by the way, chime in whenever you want. So next week, though, you have a huge event once a year called the Butterfly Benefit, and Rico and I are honored to be the masters of ceremony next Thursday night, a week from Thursday. We're the master. We're going to have some fun with that. Why don't you tell us about the benefit, if you can, Steph, and let's go from there.
Yeah, so like you said, it's our annual fundraiser. And because what Jackie just touched on, it's not a one-time gift to these children. We provide this annually. So this helps, this fundraiser is one of our biggest, it is our biggest event each year to help us fund those programs, to fund the children's moments of joy. And we hold that every May because that was Lucy's birthday month. So it has a special meaning for us. So it'll be May 8th this year, right before Mother's Day, graduation, Father's Day, all those good things. So you can come online to our auction if you can't come. That starts this Friday, May 2nd. It closes with final bids due on May 9th. So the day after the event at 12 p.m. And then the actual event is on Thursday, May 8th, as Tom said. We're so excited to have Tom and Rico come join us at the event.
Well, you should be more excited that Tom is going to be there. Forget Rico.
No.
Who's Rico?
No, it's definitely the other way around.
Oh, it
Definitely
is.
the other way around.
We're thrilled to have both of you. Yeah.
Right. I was going to ask, so how much do you work in concert with, obviously, the kids' parents? Do you work at all in concert with physicians and medical treatments that they're having in order to tailor what you do? What's that kind of partnership like?
Yeah, so directly from the hospitals, the social workers are our number one referral source. So a lot of times they'll send kids to us either right at diagnosis or when they are getting ready to leave the hospitals. And every child that we work with has to have medical clearance in order to do anything that they're interested in doing. We really try to afford kids the opportunity to decide how they want to use their funding. So there are some that want to there are a lot of kids who were doing something like gymnastics or martial arts or whatever before they got sick that really want to go and do it again. But that's one of those costs that's going to be the first things to go when their parents are dealing with medical bills and that sort of thing.
Right.
So that's what we take on. They want to get back to their friends. They want a routine. So we offer them that. But if they come to us and they say, my child is dealing with pain and anxiety, we don't know what to do. Our doctor just said, maybe check out some integrative therapies. That's where we can sort of recommend what they could do based on their symptoms, whether that's massage, acupuncture, special types of massage like craniosacral therapy, things like that. We really, that's where we can offer our insight, but we do try to let the parents and the kids, if they're old enough, decide what they want to do. And the cool thing is like Steph said, it's not a one-time award. We help them as long as needed every year. So we do have some kids that will come to us when they're really sick and all they can get is massage. And then, hopefully they get better and then they can do something a little bit more active and work up from there as long as their doctors are fine with it.
Now,
Right.
Dan, before we went on the air, you guys have a silent auction. You get some phenomenal items in the auction, and Daniel Wulken and JP Cohen have been gracious enough that they are going to donate something for the silent auction. And we'll get it to you. We'll bring it. I'll get you an image of it. Hey, Dan, whatever you decide, can you shoot me an image of it so I can shoot it to them so they can put it in their little.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just want to say thank you so much for your work. I lost my mom to cancer 8 years ago. It's an absolute BI, you know what. And, so thanks for your work. It's just kind of building dreams for these kids and showing them a normalcy. And that's so damn important.
Yeah.
So that's great.
It's funny, not funny. I mean, we every year, JM, Rico, and myself, we try to partner with an organization. As you guys know, and Dan, as you know, we did a huge fundraiser for the Jimmy Fund. We're working with Lucy's Love Bus now, and and last year in Florida, we did an event, a big event it's called Little Smiles, very similar to what you guys do. So it means a lot to us. I had a daughter that had cancer when she was 4, and we almost lost her, but we didn't. So
Right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. It's amazing.
It touches everyone. I mean, it really does in some way,
Yeah, no, I
So,
mean, it's
yeah.
just, and by the way, she's now a senior partner in one of the largest law firms in San Francisco. So you're doing pretty goddamn well. All right, listen, before we let you guys go, $100 to get in, right? It's a big event. Is that what the admission is for VIP tickets?
VIP tickets are 100. They're still on sale online now. If you go onto our website, lucyslovebus.org, there's a link there that takes you directly to the site. You can buy your tickets. You can get non-VIP tickets as well for $80. And so you can decide which ticket tier you want to go with. And then our online auction is for anyone. So you don't need a ticket to participate. Again, that starts this Friday and goes till the following Friday.
All right. So
spend that extra $20 and be a VIP.
Yeah,
exactly. But I
Get some
have a
extra
question.
perks.
Girls, I have a question about the
Yeah.
silent auction. Now, I told you there's a couple of items. Can we still get them in so that people can bid on them?
Oh, yeah. We'll be putting stuff in all this week. Sometimes we get it a little after the
Okay, good.
start date. We get it in before the final bids are due, which is Friday, May 9th at 12 p.m. As long as we can get them up online before then and let people see them and bid on them, we can get them on.
We'll get a handful of items to you guys. We're not just one. I'll grab like a Mike Tyson signed glove.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's very cool, Dan.
Thank
And
you.
it's funny. It's not. I mean, you guys have to understand. Memory Lane, they do a tremendous amount. You guys have really stepped up to the plate over the years, Dan. You and JP. He's involved with all kinds of stuff. You are too.
Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah, it's good to give back. It's just good to give back.
You're right. Hey, you know what's funny? Randy Travis said years ago, a Brinks truck doesn't follow you to your funeral. You got to give. You can't take. You can't take it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just give and pay it forward, and don't expect karma. Just pay it forward, and
exactly.
And what's a better cause than giving to the kids and
absolutely
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so your website, so people can bid again. What is it?
May 2nd through May 9th, you can bid online or you can get tickets and come to the live event where we'll have a live auction and there will be 10 exclusive auction packages just for the live auction if you're there in person. Outside of that, we've got about 50 to 60 packages up right now just on the online auction alone. So,
all right, well, listen, I'm reaching out to some of the guys across the country that have been loyal followers of ours, Joe Marino, Michael Veriali, Tommy Cerrito.
Look at all these mobster names.
I was going to say, is there anyone who isn't Italian that you're reaching out
Carlo
to?
Gambino, Joe Bonanno.
Yeah.
Listen, these guys are all over.
You're gonna get a bunch of machine guns and zoot suits.
You guys are all over the country. I want you guys to bid. Get your
Jackie,
bid.
what's the website again?
So lucyslovebus.org, lucyslovebus.org. And right on that front page is a link to the butterfly benefit tickets and the auction.
You know, before I let you guys go, I've got to talk. I'm going to talk to Jason at Hodges. That bus needs to be displayed all summer long. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to Jason because don't you think that'd be a great place for it to be?
Hodges,
Yeah.
everybody
Right at Hodges?
sure when they get their ice cream.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going
We'll
to
have to
talk
go
to him.
visit it.
And he will do it. I guarantee you he'll do it. All right, girls, I look forward to it. I'll get you that info, Steph, and
Okay,
we'll
thanks,
see you
Tom.
guys next week.
All
Bye, Dan.
right.
Bye, John. Good to
Thanks.
see you.
Thank you.
Tom.
Take care.
Good luck
Bye.
with everything.
Steph Moran, Jackie Walker, good kids, good kids. That's what we want.
That's awesome. I do.
No, it's good. It's good. JM, I think you should show up. Don't be a stiff.
Well, if it's Thursday, I'm definitely going to be in Vermont, so I can't.
Okay. Well, then, you have an excuse. You have an excuse.
But I'll be there in spirit.
Right. Hey, Dan, I didn't tell you that I'm honored. I think JM knows this, that I got a call from the Hall of Fame. And Ellen and I are going to be doing a book signing there in July, as well as a talk. I'm very, very excited about it.
That's
Very
pretty
excited.
incredible, seriously, because I grew up in upstate New York and I went to 5 of the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. And when you go either into the Hall of Fame or at Doubleday Field, like to those shops,
Just
museums,
awesome.
the energy is incredible. And for you to be honored at the Baseball Hall of Fame,
Doesn't get any better than that.
it does not get any better.
I mean, I
sure.
was when I got the phone call and the email, I was just wow, very cool. And what the book we're going to be talking about, obviously, is the Diamondbacks collection. The book we did with Ken Kendrick. So it's going to be some fun. All right, let's get to Memory Lane. Now you have the Spring Rarities auction that starts when?
May 9th. Starts May 9th, ends May 31st.
Now you have some amazing items. We're going to let you run with it as the show goes on. You don't have to list everything now, but can you kind of whet our appetites a little bit?
Sure. I mean, you're talking about spectacular items that, everybody always gets the run-of-the-mill Babe Ruth signed stuff and all that kind of. But to have a Christy Mathewson Type 1 photo encapsulated by PSA, a PSA 9 autograph. I mean, it's tough to find Christy Mathewson's autograph, period.
Right.
But to have it on a Type 1 photo and a PSA 9 autograph, that's insane. We've got a gigantic, rare, probably, I think this item went for about $50K decades ago, a Babe Ruth trifold. Okay, a trifold advertisement from Old Gold. And it's advertising sign. It's 3 pieces, and you open it up. It's huge. It's incredible. Absolutely.
So you used to smoke Old Gold, right?
Well, I still do. So what is it, like a tabletop thing?
Like a tabletop advertising sign, gigantic. It's and even a companion piece to that. We got a Lou Gehrig Knot Hole League advertising sign as well. That hasn't come up in decades. The advertising pieces are beautiful. They're huge. And they're used in stores. So they're thrown around. They're when the season ends, they're thrown in the basement, they're thrown in the attic. So they are handled so much. For these to be in the condition they're in is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
So, Dan, I mean, obviously you've been doing this a while. I always like to ask people like yourself who are in the business and have been for a long time, who's seen almost everything. I call them the wow items. Were these kind of wow items for you, even though you've been around for so long?
Yeah, you know why? Because aesthetically, artistically, the way things were produced back then are supersede the items of today. And marketing, advertising, Photoshop, this and that. Okay, it is what it is today. It's really nice. But to have that authenticity of, the way it displays is, and the medium that it's on. I mean, the material, how that could have, like the Ruth piece, almost 100 years, like how that piece could have, survived throughout, probably going from home to home.
I wonder about that when we interview guys like I'm wondering like things that were literally 100 years ago or something like it's like how can you even still read them? How are they still in one piece? You know what I mean?
Good point.
Like last, like not in this auction, but next auction, we've got a Grover Alexander contract. And let me tell you, how can this piece even exist today? It's from, I'll tell you, I have it right in front of me. It's from 1915. And it's signed.
110 years ago.
Well, wait a second. Is it in 15? Was that the year that he won the Triple Crown of pitching, or after that? Does anybody know?
I think that was the year. I think that was the.
No, I think actually, you know what it was? I believe it was the year after. Is that the year that he bitched about his contract?
You know what? I take that back. This is from 1921.
Okay.
That's 1921. That's my fault. October 13th, he signed it 1921. And Chicago National League Ball Club, signed by him and William Veeck. I mean, how do you, first off, I'm just going to quickly show,
that looks like it was done yesterday.
And look,
it's like,
look at that. I mean, that,
crazy.
It's just so things like that, that don't come along, too often.
Yeah. Well, there's a story to that contract, because I believe, John, that the year before, Walter Johnson signed a contract. And that year, I believe, and I could be wrong, that Grover Cleveland Alexander won the Triple Crown. So he went into Chicago, into the office, and said, hey, I want to be paid what Walter Johnson's being paid.
$12,000.
Yeah, and I think
how much
that's
does
what
that
happened.
Equate to today? 1921, 12 grand. That's got to be at least $1 million,
A lot of dough.
I would say so, at least, Danny. Yeah.
Before things caught on with big.
All right. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Dan Wulken from Memory Lane is in the house. He's going to be with us for the whole hour. John Mallory with the Atlanta. John, I got St. Louis.
I know. We're going away from Boston this week.
You got to diversify.
I agree, because we know everything. We don't just know.
And by the way, everything. Dan, I'm going to tell you right now, the best player on the Boston Red Sox is not even on the roster yet. He's coming up. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Can't wait to hear it.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
You know, there's nothing like a good baked pretzel. Nothing like it.
You need to get out more.
Well, I mean,
No, I mean, it's a good. I like a good pretzel, but you can't say there's nothing like it.
a nice hot pretzel with mustard on it. What are you kidding me? Doesn't get any better than that. That's all I'm saying. I just devoured one.
Is there a lock on the door in the room you're in right now?
All right, listen, Dan, Dan, welcome from Memory Lane is in the house with us, and later on, Paul Borges from PB Collectibles is going to be joining us. Dan, there's been a real uptick in theft and burglaries in the hobby. I mean, you guys were assaulted last year, but they caught the culprits, and Mallory did confess. But
still haven't returned the stuff.
Told us the other two cards. Still hasn't told us where those other two cards are. But
all
Tom,
kidding
listen,
aside, Dan,
you'll have to talk to my attorney about that. But.
All kidding aside, there's been a real uptick in thefts, burglaries.
Yeah.
What can be done, or can anything be done to combat all of this stuff?
You know, I mean, we have added 40 cameras to our building, not 40, and we have an incredible system that if you're walking at any time at night towards our building, immediately it alerts a company that goes on verbally and says, hey, you in the black sweatshirt, the hoodie, the cops are coming right now. So they describe what you look like and they talk to you and they tell you, and that's a subscription base, that we pay for monthly. And that has saved our asses even more now. But I'll tell you, you say it's the uptick. It was only a matter of time that people would finally catch on how valuable our business is. Because
you're right.
JT and I would travel. It was the ongoing joke that we'd be sitting there and I'd take out all of my memorabilia and baseball cards. We have a 5-hour flight and I'm going through all the inventory and I'm pricing it. And people are looking at me and they're saying, I remember this lady saying to me, oh, that's funny. You're still playing with your baseball cards and like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. It's a fun time. Little did she know we were making 10 times what she was. But anyway,
yeah,
it's funny how now we keep everything in the overhead compartment. We don't take anything out because people will follow you. And here's the downfall right now, which I think in life, stealth is wealth to the fact that you've got 13, 14, 15-year-olds walking around with these Louis Vuitton backpacks carrying, and this is no exaggeration. I was just at the Strongsville show with JP, and you got a kid who's 15 who had 100K in cash.
Dan, I couldn't agree with you more.
They will be followed. They will be followed.
In Cleveland, last year in Cleveland, Rico and I were having lunch in the hotel. And in the lobby, there were probably 75 or 80 kids between the ages of 12 and 20.
Yeah.
You know, just bartering, doing
Trade
business.
night. Having a trade night.
So this kid walks by. We're having lunch. He's got a briefcase, right? He's got a briefcase. Couldn't have been 14, 15 years old. So I said, hey, I says, how you doing? He says, great. I says, you had a good day today? He says, yeah, I had a great day. I says, how many cards you have in there? You know what he said? I don't have any cards. It's all cash. It's all cash. So
I mean, and it kind of what, and I want to reduce it to growing pains, but it's kind of what Danny said is that people are coming around to the fact, and we've talked a lot about this with Tom Ruggie and other people, that these are commodities now. And I know we're all base, and our basis comes from the love of the game and the emotion and being a fan, but it's a business. And with business and with a cash business, a money business, a money making business, you're talking about valuables. It's no different than stealing jewelry or anything else, like items of value, and you have to treat it like that. So the business, I think, has grown. Danny, what about like when you start talking about security? What about like at events like the national? Because that's a lot of people. I mean, wandering around, a lot of bodies.
Isn't that where the cameras are needed, Dan?
No, I mean, cameras are annoying. They will push. I remember. I don't know the name. I remember a dealer. I'd go to this show, and every single time you'd go past this table, he had cameras. And I think you have to make people comfortable, so you don't want like anybody being videotaped. It's to they have their rights. They're not signing up to be videotaped. But we have people in civilian clothes that people don't see, that we never mention who they are, that are actual security. We have multiple people that, come and go during each day at the show. So they're watching, they're watching from afar, you need that security. I mean, again, like John said, the value look at PSA. It was a card grading company that was probably worth about 20 million, 25 million. It was sold for 835 million. It's worth over 4 billion. The owner is one of the biggest hedge fund guys, Steve Cohen. He owns 85% of PSA. You have NBA players, NFL players that are a part of that, the other 15% of the group.
Right.
And I'll tell you, where money is being made, fraud is going to be had. I mean, kids have to be careful because they will be followed, at these shows. But as far as security for the National, we have a couple of those guys that, in civilian clothes that people don't know are there, and, they continue to watch. It's unfortunate, but
it is.
That's 2025 for you.
Hey, Dan, should we be concerned about the vintage market with the influx of young collectors and investors in the hobby now? Because it seems to me, and I could be wrong, I really like to get your opinion on this. Are they gravitating strictly to modern and ultra modern, or are some of them kind of sticking their toe in the water in the vintage market?
Good question. It's twofold. I think, if you asked me that years ago, I would have said, it's a dying breed of people and collectors who've collected all the T cards and the Gaudis and the play balls and the batter ups. That type of stuff is pretty much going to go by the wayside. But now let's cut to 2025. I would say the demand, not only the demand, but the interest. There's so much modern stuff out there, but I think some of the younger generation are getting turned off by the modern, and they're taking that modern money and they're jumping into the vintage market. So what I would have answered years ago is a lot different than today, because I think now, like I said, I did the Strongsville show and a kid walked up and he had a PSA 1 Mantle rookie, couldn't have been, older than 15 years old.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want 36,000 for it. And I'm like, I love seeing, these kids carrying
Crazy
cards. So I think vintage cards and sets, there might be a pause in the lower tier guys like Slaughter and Hubble and Cronin, all those type of guys. But your mainstream Aaron Mays, Clemente, Koufax, Ruth, Wagner, Cobb, Alexander Johnson, all those guys, I think are going to continue to escalate. They're learning more about the pops, like a pop 1 to a pop whatever, low pop cards. I think these kids are going to gravitate towards, because again, they're making all this great money in modern. But with modern, you got to, I always had this motto: you got to get in, get out, and get on, and parlay that into decent assets.
That's
And
right.
They're starting to realize, at least the smart kids are starting to realize.
The other thing is you can't, you're right. I mean, and again, we get back to the whole investing thing and getting wise and getting smarter. And, that's a great way to say it. Get in, get out, because don't wait for Mike Trout's injuries to come.
Right.
Don't wait for Fernando Tatis to have an off the field problem. You see what I mean? Get in, get out, and then maybe put that toward, the blue chips, as Zap calls them.
Yeah,
right?
There's a lot of
That's what
guys
vintage
out
is,
there.
right?
There's a lot of guys out there that are thinking that they can take 50 prospects, invest in all of them. And my thing is that you want to get in and get out, because you might have one out of the 50 that goes 20x. So if you buy something for $50 and now you can get 1,000, but now let's look at the losses on the other 49 out of 50 that you're going to get crushed on. You're not balanced, and you might be happy that it's like in Vegas. You win a ton of money, but how about all the losses you've had?
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
We are chatting with Dan Wulken from Memory Lane Auctions. I was telling Paul Borges, when we were talking last week, I was down at a card show in West Palm this past winter. There must have been 100 dealers. 40 of them, Dan. 40 of them, I counted, were Pokemon dealers. What the hell is going on with Pokemon?
Yeah, and look at all the tariffs. Look at how, a lot of the card grading companies now won't even take Pokemon from China and from Japan and from Australia because of all the cost and tariffs. But yeah, Pokemon needs their own show. No disrespect. They just need their own Poke show.
By the way, we are doing a Poke show in about 3 weeks. John, it's a Rico week. We're bringing in a Pokemon expert and a big-time Pokemon collector.
You know who you should bring in? Pokey Reese.
That's awful.
I have a guy that's really well respected in the industry. That's also a big Pokemon guy, who works for Whatnot. So I wonder.
Well, this guy works for Brian Dwyer. This guy works for REA. They brought him in special.
Oh, cool.
I'm very excited to hear Rico talk about.
That's why I wanted to do it on a Rico show.
And by the way, you too.
Yeah.
You could not have two worse people.
Let me tell you who
hosting
the
a show
is.
about Pokemon.
You know who the collector is? I got him into it. It's my rheumatologist. Now, let me explain. We were talking during my
Wait a
exam.
minute. Did you parlay this into free meds or something?
No.
Because you always have an angle.
No,
I mean, your son-in-law is the savant.
Absolutely
your
no.
rheumatologist is the freaking Pokemon expert.
What happened was we were talking in the office, and he knows what we do. And he said, I was a huge Pokemon collector when I was a kid. He's probably in his late 30s, let's say.
His daughter's name is Charizard.
I walked in. He says, "You're not going to believe this." He says, "But you got me hooked again." He said, "In the last 2 weeks, I've spent 30 grand on Pokemon cards."
Oh, man.
So he's really into it. So I invited him, and his
That's
name is
great.
Brian Poole, Dr. Brian Poole. But
Very
we're going to
cool.
have some fun with him. Listen, I do have another question. I have a real issue with, and we've talked about it a million times on the show, Dan, manufactured rarities. You know, I think there are too many of them. I think they're really watering down the hobby when you have a I don't know, a Jason Tatum 1 of 1 because it's a prism with the purple shirt. It's crazy stuff that's happening. And the same thing with the autographs. I mean, if the autograph is signed before the cards are distributed, does that water down? Like, let's use I don't know, pick anyone, pick Jaren Duran. Is a Jaren Duran autograph? I walk up to him, I have his rookie card, he signs it for me. All right. Now, is that card worth as much as the card that he signed for Topps at the Topps factory before they released it?
It's not worth. Let me start over. The autograph rookie card should be worth a lot more than a card that has a sticker. Okay, so all these companies are sending stickers to the agents, and they're probably about, I would say, 30 stickers per sheet. They sign the stickers, which are transparent, they're see-through, and they take that sticker and they put it on a card. To me, you go to the ballpark and you get a rookie card signed. Now you have to learn all this vernacular of is it an on-card signature or is it a signature on a sticker that's been placed on a card? Those stickers that are placed on cards and numbered that Topps and Panini and all those companies sell, they're worth a lot more than your rookie card that you got signed on the card. And it's ass backwards because you're really, to me, I see the value in an autograph rookie card, but it's a 1 out of 1, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 19, 1 out of 49, 1 out of 99, and 1 out of 249 and 599. And I'm not exaggerating. That you take one card, the same darn image, and you number it, and here you have 7 different numbered kinds of categories, and then on top, like you just said, they've got zebra, 4th of July fireworks.
Yeah.
It's like the card with
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is. And how do you even keep track?
I don't know.
How can one be smart enough to keep track?
Right.
Just before we take a quick break, 2 questions. Cooper Flag and Ovechkin. Ovechkin cards, have they skyrocketed?
I think there's a lot more interest. I also respect both Gretzky and Ovechkin. And I really love the fact how Gretzky said, I'm really proud of Ovechkin for breaking my, record. It was a really cool to see how humble Gretzky is. Cooper Flag, I mean, what is he, 12 years old? I think he's 18. Isn't he 18? He's like 7'50".
He's going to have a briefcase full of cash soon.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, and I think his stuff, I think he has a lot. He has the fundamentals, and I think he has a huge future, and I think he's going to learn and grow and get real strong, and I think he's going to be a great NBA player, and I think his value will be there.
Zap, I have a follow-up to the Ovechkin
we
thing.
got about 1 minute.
We'll do it after. We'll do it after the break.
All right, we're going to bring in Paul Borges after the break from PB Collectibles. Dan, I'm glad you're here. Paul's a great guy. Obviously, your memory lane. You're one of the giants. Paul has a small shop, but he's got a great reputation.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he's got a find. He's got his first find. You guys always have finds. This is his first find. We're going to take a quick break. Paul's going to join Dan, myself, and JM. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. Highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
All right, we are back. You know, I don't know if you know this, guys, but I fired Rico from the Petroselli Marketing wording because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So this is the Petroselli Marketing catalog, and they really genuinely have some great stuff. Wearables,
great stuff. Yeah, good work.
Technological stuff like handheld computer things, pens, pencils, sweatshirts, hats. I'm telling you, you want to ask for one of these. And if you have a company and you want to, you want products for your company, office supplies, this is it. Petroselli Marketing. Just go to petrosellimkt.com. Look at this, John. Look at this. Pens, real Petroselli pens.
Yeah.
I've been asking him for a year and a half of pens.
Can you save one of them for me?
No, you're out. All right, let's bring in our good pal, along with Danny, Paul Borges from PB Collectibles. You know, Paul, all of a sudden, you've become a star.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
All right, so you were at a show in Quincy.
Guess I should have kissed his ass too, huh?
Yeah.
All right,
hey,
tell us
wait a
happened.
minute, I have.
Well, you need to walk us through what happened.
Yeah.
Briefly, I'll try. I was at a show in Quincy, Massachusetts. Really good show, 2-day show, Saturday, Sunday. It's Sunday morning, and I have some signage like everybody else. Signage is so important for dealers to have. And I saw a man kind of staring at the signage. And next thing you know, he kind of walks up to me and he said, "Hey, do you buy vintage cards?" And I said, "Oh, absolutely." And he seemed to give me the impression, he said back to me, "Well, I have boxes and boxes of stuff from the 50s. So that meant he didn't have them with him. So I said, "Oh, I'd make house calls," whatever, when he said it, because he sounded legit. Usually you get a lot of, people asking about, buying stuff, and it's usually no good. But anyway, he said, "Well, I have a binder right here that'll give you an example of the stuff that I have." And he pulled out this binder out of his backpack. He's probably in his 50s. And when I opened it, I began to see like multiples Sandy Koufax rookies, multiples of 55 Hank Aaron, multiples of Roberto Clemente. I could go on and on. Very heavy from 55, 56.
Well, like for instance, how many Koufax rookie cards?
20.
How many?
Everything 20.
Oh my God.
20.
And by the way, Dan, pay close attention because Paul, you don't use auction houses typically, right? You sell the stuff like
No, I do not.
Right. So
no.
Dan.
So it's great. I have great inventory. So there's 20 Koufaxes. There were 21 Killebrews, 55, about 20 Hank Aaron 55s, some of the highlights. I sent you a lot of the pictures. There was about 852 tops, no high numbers, no mantle. There were a number about 353s, no mantle, Jackie.
You had some Willies too, didn't you have some Willie Mays?
452 Willie Mays. Geez, I could go on and on with what. About 1256 Clementes, about 12 Hank Aaron 56, about total in Jackies. I probably got over 20 Jackies.
Wow.
No
Hey,
54s.
Paul, our address is 12831 Newport Avenue.
Well, you know something? We're going to talk.
Hey, wait a minute. That's Dan's home address.
Mallory and I are going to talk Paul into shooting you a couple too. For auction, we're going to spread the wealth. Paul, are you getting them all?
Yeah, I've been in touch with SGC. And to be honest with you, I think the majority of the cards, I'm going to actually fly down, make a little mini vacation on the East Coast. I have a good friend that lives right next door to SGC. So I'm going to fly down to there. And then I have 656 mantles that are absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, it was, when you said the first find, I wouldn't say it was the first find. I got several different little collections that have come my way. It's better to be lucky than good sometimes.
Yeah, you're right.
I was just lucky. And when I saw the binder, I spent a half an hour just trying to convince him that I'm your guy to go to. And we talked for about 30 minutes. And then I ended up meeting him at his house. He lived in Cambridge. And we went out on a Tuesday. I got there at 2. I left there at 7:00 at night, putting them in order, running a spreadsheet.
Wow.
Talking cards, talking my business, talking his business, and so forth. And then I went back. He was going to be away for a few days. We circled back, I can't remember, a few days later. I went back there with several certified checks and a bunch of cash. And I
did the
made
deal.
an offer to him. And then, and it took another day. After that, I met him on a Thursday, and we closed the deal on a Saturday.
Congratulations.
Hey, Tom.
I'm ecstatic.
I don't know if you heard, Paul. It's 12831 Newport. Congratulations. That's incredible. Brad, you deserve it. It's nice to see, we all love trying to, having those types of finds. And it happens to good people, and it's great that it's a great feeling that you were able to grab this. And that's awesome.
You guys both have you really do. And as much as I hate to blow your horns, you both have great reputations, both of your companies. Danny, what are some of the other items that you're going to be featuring?
We have a really cool album page that's signed by Ruth. It's signed by Ruth, Cobb, and Johnson. The same album page. The guy went back 3 different times over the course of, a decade and got all 3 of them to sign an album page.
Wow.
We've got a multi-sign baseball with Ruth, Gehrig, Fox, Walter Johnson. We've got a 61 Mays All-Star bat. It's graded by PSA as an 8.5. A 53 Bowman. You ready for this? A 53.
So look at Borges is getting excited because he's going to start bidding on your stuff.
Right. A 53 Bowman Mantle and a PSA 9.
Ooh.
Now, how's this? You know how Stallmeyers come out. You know how the condition of Stallmeyers. How about a PSA 8 Mickey Mantle? 54 Stallmeyer PSA 8 Mantle. A 1920s Babe Ruth chocolate-coated ice cream baseball card, which is the only one graded. A huge run of tobacco cards. And we're breaking a bunch of 33 Gowdy cards. And not in this auction, but in the next auction, we're going to have the Paul Borges collection. Right now, we're just working with Paul.
That's right. Hey, doesn't it? And what
Paul,
book you guys...
Well, Paul, there's something to be said there. It'll be all over
I
the
know.
news. It'll be all over the news.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
doesn't what happened with Paul speak, and Danny, you can deal with this too, even though you're a larger company. That guy went over, like he could have strolled over to anyone.
Right.
And doesn't it speak to that one-on-one ability to just have beyond the money and the
Customer
binder,
service.
right, Danny? I mean, that you can communicate and talk, find some common ground, talk about the players. Like that's a big part of what
But
you
you
do,
know
isn't
something,
it?
John,
Right?
John, honestly, I mean, I've been in this business now for a pretty long time, and I've seen the interaction. You really, Paul, I think Paul mentioned it. There has to be, you can tell after talking to a dealer for 2
Yes.
minutes whether
Right.
or not you trust them.
That's it. Trust. That's
Bottom,
it.
and that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
tell you
the
one
bottom
thing,
line.
Tom. You know what's key in this business? Either you're a dealer that wants to flip and make the money, or you come from the foundation of a collector who has tons of passion and it exudes to the person who's selling. So obviously, Paul, us, we're not salesy. We know that there's enough for everyone.
Right. Right.
And that's why they gravitate towards people, because they feel comfortable. You're not BSing them. You're not selling them a car, used car lot.
It was I'll tell you this, that I spent a half hour.
We got about 2 minutes, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah, I spent about a half hour, trying to say, hey, I'm the guy, blah, blah, blah. But I teach one of the classes I teach is a sales class, and we always talk about likability, trust, knowledge, and all of those things. And at the end, when I was packing up the car with the collection and so forth, I could see he was genuinely touched. And he said, please, he said, I feel like I have a new friend. Let me know how this all goes down and so forth. And I could see that he was genuinely touched, as I was as well. And I definitely have a new friend up in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Now, Paul, are you all kidding aside, are you going to sell these cards one at a time, like out of the shop? Oh, do we lose Paul? I think we did.
Froze up. I think he froze up a bit.
Yeah, we lost him.
Yeah.
We lost him. Anyway, I wish he would answer that question. But Dan, we're gonna work.
He might just be having a stoic face, not moving, so he didn't have to answer.
Right.
He's stunned.
Oh, there he is. I think we got him back.
Did we get him back, Paul? You back?
Yeah,
no, I don't.
No,
think
we
he
don't
is.
got him.
Okay. Anyways, Danny.
You know what I think would be smart for him is to not get all of them graded. I know we're live on the air, but you don't want the pop to go through the roof.
Paul, you there? No. Okay, we lost. Exactly, and I agree with you. I'm gonna have him connect with you, Dan.
Even if it's a couple cards of each of what he has.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have him connect with you, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right, listen, guys, we're just about out of time. Dan, as always, man, we love having you.
He's the best, man. He's
you
the
bring
best.
so much.
Me,
you
really,
bring so much.
it.
And the other thing is, thank you for the donation to Lucy's Love Bus.
Yeah, I'm going to post that right now.
Yeah, JM, I'm sorry, not going to see you there next week.
Yeah,
I know there was a passing of a friend of the family.
Yeah,
close to
Sorry,
it.
John.
Right, and Dan, by the way, congratulations on getting married. And we're working on another individual who's on the show with us right now to do the same thing. And don't be so cheap and pop the question to her. But other than that, we'll let that go.
Serious? Are you serious?
What's the address for the GoFundMe page?
All right, guys. With that being said, Dan, thanks so much. JM, thanks
to
so
both
much.
of you.
Special thanks to Paul and to the girls.
Just give him
Lucy's Love Bus.
just give him Paul Borges' address.
It's 12831 Newport Ave.
I'm going to work on him. I'm going to work
Memory
on him.
Lane Incorporated.
All right, guys. With that being said, we love you guys. To our viewers and listeners, thanks so much for the support. Happy collecting.
Thank you.